So I want to be honest about something that people ask me about all the time. People say, sometimes Blue, you seem very negative and you seem very hostile on social media, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your YouTube, and you always talk about trying to find middle ground and trying to be a voice of reason, and yet I see you constantly attacking feminists and always saying these very negative things about feminists. What happened to you trying to be like the peaceful, moderate guy in the middle, trying to bring everybody together? So I kind of want to address the times when you should be civil and the times when you should be stern. Now, I always think that you should be civil. I always think that you should maintain a certain decorum. But at the same time, I don't always think you need to be nice. And I don't always think you need to show respect. Because there are some people who are constantly disrespectful, blatantly so. They're insulting, they're sexist, they're bigoted, and sometimes they're downright dangerous. And these kinds of people should be confronted and they should be called out. And so when you scroll my YouTube or you scroll my Facebook or you scroll my Twitter, sometimes I don't come across as the nicest person. And yes, sometimes my criticism is harsh and is direct, but it's fair. It's fair to call out hatred. It's fair to call out bigotry. It's fair to address someone for what they are and for what they're saying. And while I understand the arguments that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, that's something that I say all the time. There are some instances where you do need to be blunt and you do need to be honest. And sometimes that's not being nice. And sometimes being nice is lying about what the situation really is. Because if someone is spewing hatred or toxicity or lies, then they need to be talked to honestly and bluntly and directly. And that's all not always nice, and that's not always pretty, but it's necessary. Because we do live in a world with hateful people. We do live in a world with dishonest people. And I'm far from perfect, but I like to think that if I wake up and I go to bed and I review my day, that you know what, for the most part, I do my best to tell the truth. And I do my best to do what I think is the right thing. Sometimes that means not being so nice. Sometimes that means looking at someone saying something awful and saying, no, that's not okay. What you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is hurtful. What you're doing is harmful. You're hurting people. That's disgusting, and that's not right. So don't always confuse strong language with disrespect, because some people behave in a certain way where they don't deserve respect. I think that the first time you meet someone, the first time you shake somebody's hand, the first time you introduce someone, you should always treat everybody with respect. And that's the way you should go through life, is to show respect and to be respectful to people that you talk to and listen to their ideas and learn from them. But when someone is being blatantly hateful or dishonest or insulting, then they no longer deserve that respect. If you extend respect to someone and they respond to you with disrespect, then there's a time to stand up for yourself and to stand up for the right thing and say, no, what you're doing is actually not okay. So that's something I've been getting emails about lately on my Twitter, on my Facebook, on my YouTube. People say, hey, I've noticed you become a little bit more toxic. You become a little bit more aggressive. And it's like, no, I've become a little bit more honest. And there are some truths that need to be heard. So when you're debating someone on the internet, always stay civil and always stay professional. But you don't always have to stay nice.